You guys ever watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live? You ever watch the opening to the shows and how generic and formulaic they are? It's usually a big name superstar comes out, cuts a promo, interference happens, his promo gets cut off, and then rinse and repeat. 2, 3, 4 guys on some weeks leads to a main event match or a tag team match or a 6-man tag. Same shit every single week. Instead of starting the show off with wrestling, WWE goes the formulaic route and really doesn't change it on a week-to-week basis. You watch NXT and you watch something that is different. I love the way that they started NXT off tonight, man. I don't know what it is, but it's just not Raw and SmackDown. Like, I love when a show starts off with, like, 4 engaging characters, such as the Undisputed Era. You got Adam Cole, the North American Champion. You got Roddy Strong, who turned his back on Pete Dunne during NXT TakeOver New Orleans to help the Undisputed Era win and retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. You got Kyle O'Reilly, who's coming into his own and kind of coming out of his NXT shell. Bobby Fish just standing there, even though he is injured, sarcastic as fuck. You got the Undisputed Era theme music playing in the background while all 4 of these guys are explaining why they are the best thing going in NXT. Dripping gold. And I'm watching this and I'm like, 4 engaging characters. 4 intriguing characters that we all enjoy watching on NXT television start the show and give you a glimpse of what is to come and what they're thinking, instead of going out to the ring and these guys talk and it sets up a tag team match for the main event. It's just different. It reeks of old school, and I can really, really appreciate that. It's one of the reasons why I adore NXT, man. It's a wrestling program for the smart WWE fan. I wish Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live would just take a little bit of what NXT does. I got into a conversation with somebody on social media this morning, and they sent me an article that they had written for GiveMeSport.com. They DM'd me and said, I would appreciate your opinion on this because we seem to be on the same wavelength as it comes to WWE programming. And the article went into detail about what WWE should do as far as SmackDown Live goes. And everything that I read, it's like I had wrote the article. Women's division is terrible. Every single match on SmackDown Live when it pertains to the women is a tag team or a 6-woman tag. WWE creative writers on SmackDown Live aren't really highlighting the talent that they have, the true talent that's on SmackDown Live. Nakamura may be playing a great heel, but they saddled him with a gimmick where he just low blows everybody. That's not really, it's a simple heel tactic, but it's not going to make Nakamura a memorable heel. And WWE, with their creative writing on SmackDown Live, the article went into detail about the same thing that I talked about on SmackDown Live Review last night. And I talked about this for 3 straight weeks coming out of the shakeup. The more things change, the more that they stay the same. When NXT changes, it feels fresh. When NXT has superstars promoted to Raw or SmackDown, they're replaced with incoming new superstars, and things feel fresh. There's a sense of excitement. There's just excitement about creativity in the air, and you feel that as a viewer at home. It's like the creative writers, you can literally feel and see the creative writers just drooling at the mouth to book for guys like Ricochet and an EC3 and a Velveteen Dream and War Machine and whoever else comes on in to NXT. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Machine Head got it right with their second album following their debut. Love it. Absolutely love it. NXT tonight, though, man. It really wasn't a blow-away show like we're usually watching on Wednesday nights. Tonight was a little bit more low-key, man. They didn't try to push too much tonight. It was more of a setup of what's to come. There was obviously no Johnny Gargano. There was no Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa will be in action next week. And I love the attention to detail, man. I love the attention to detail. Everything that you watch on NXT has a meaning. And there's a reason behind the things that you see. There was a reason why Cassius Ohno was present during Johnny Gargano's, trip to the emergency room. While he was standing there as they were loading his carcass into the back of the ambulance with Candice LeRae crying. And they highlighted Cassius Ohno tonight. And, listen, I've known both Ciampa and Gargano for 10 years. I've been very good friends with Johnny Gargano. I've been good friends with Tommaso Ciampa, but I don't know who this Tommaso Ciampa is. This is not the Ciampa I know. This Ciampa is a fucking coward. This Ciampa is demented. He's lost his mind. And Cassius Ohno was there. Attention to detail. There was a reason why he was there, because he was friends with Johnny Gargano. Now, friends with Johnny Gargano are going to pay the price, because Tommaso Ciampa is going one-on-one with Cassius Ohno next week on NXT. Tonight, Candice LeRae was the focal point of this story. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about Candice LeRae taking a center stage this week in the Johnny Gargano-Tommaso Ciampa storyline. I don't like the fact that they gave away a pretty big match tonight in Candice LeRae and Bianca Belair. I don't like that at all. Candice LeRae just came off a big victory over Zelina Vega, and now WWE is playing the storyline and pushing the storyline of Candice LeRae is getting ready for Bianca Belair, her toughest test in NXT since she's come into NXT to join Johnny Gargano on the roster. And her mindset isn't right because of what happened with Johnny last week. I really don't like that aspect, though I can appreciate it because they're just continuing the storyline. I just didn't think that it needed to result in a loss for Candice LeRae so early in her WWE run. Bianca Belair needed a victory because I told you where Bianca Belair is going to be at the end of the year. She's going to be the number one contender for the NXT Championship, Women's Championship, against Kairi Sane. And that's where I think they are going to go. I think Kairi Sane is going to be the one position next against Shayna Baszler after she gets done with Dakota Kai, because we have a long way to go until SummerSlam. Figure Shayna Baszler is going to get mixed in with Dakota Kai first, and then Kairi Sane's going to just kind of slide on in there, and Kairi Sane's going to take the title from Shayna Baszler, and then we're going to get Bianca Belair, the EST of NXT, taking her rightful spot as the EST champion of NXT's women's division. That's where I think they're going with that. So Bianca definitely needed a victory. Candice needed a victory too, being that she just came off a big win, like I said, over Zelina Vega. But it's a minor detail. It is a very small detail in the furthering of the storyline between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. I'm going to overlook it. Don't know why it needed to result in a loss, but like I said, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. Kona Reeves made his NXT debut, and apparently he is another Samoan that has huge ties to the NOI family and the Samoan heritage that lies underneath there. So you guys know where Kona Reeves is probably going to end up. He's probably going to have a successful WWE career just based off his lineage and his heritage. They're building Kona Reeves up from what we've seen of him early on in NXT. I'm not sure if he was in the Cruiserweight Classic. I think I might have him mixed up with somebody else. I don't think Kona Reeves was in the Cruiserweight Classic, if my memory serves me correctly, which is all over the place right now. But Kona Reeves was very generic. He was very bland. He was just this Hawaiian guy that came out wearing colorful trunks and had no charisma or personality. They turned him into a pretty boy playboy. He loves the finest things. He's got the finest hair. He's got the finest jewels. He is the finest. Kona Reeves. Now, little fun fact. I was actually at the House of Glory school not too long ago to do some promo work and to conduct some interviews that are going to be airing on House of Glory Live via Facebook Live. And I got into a conversation with Matt Travis, Murder by Kicks Matt Travis, which is, who is rather, one of the superstars there competing in House of Glory. Very, very bright future for Matt Travis. And I was talking to him as we were getting ready to shoot a promo. And he mentioned that NXT is looking at promotions like House of Glory, and they're kind of feeding off ideas that are being brought forth by House of Glory. And we have a wrestler at House of Glory called Cashflow Ken Broadway. Now, Matt Travis told me that Ken Broadway's gimmick, which, you know, he's the millionaire killionaire, comes out flinging money around, comes out with the loud rap music, he's just dripping gold, and, you know, he thinks he's the shit, wears, you know, blinged out fur coats, and, you know, he's just got this cocky bravado to him. Matt Travis mentioned to me that NXT was looking at House of Glory, and they're looking at possibly taking Ken Broadway's gimmick and applying it to someone in NXT. Kona Reeves, and what I seen of Kona Reeves tonight was very, very similar to what Cashflow Ken Broadway is doing in House of Glory. It's not an exact ripoff, but the similarities, if you watched both of them side by side, is there. You know, we don't have Kona Reeves coming out, you know, flinging money all over the place. But NXT has Kona Reeves. He made his debut tonight. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I was not blown away by what I seen. I've heard people mention that Kona Reeves is like, you know, Johnny Mundo light or John Morrison light. Whether you guys know Johnny Mundo from Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling, or John Morrison from WWE, you know, he's Johnny Mundo light. He's got this Samoan heritage. And what I seen tonight really didn't blow me away whatsoever, man. His in-ring skill, normally when you go up against someone the likes of who he did tonight, you're supposed to showcase your moveset, man. I was blown away by nothing that the guy did. He didn't do anything that made me say, wow, this guy's going to be good. Or, well, this guy's got a good moveset. He really didn't do anything. He screamed and shouted that he's Kona Reeves, the finest, and he was just very aggressive. Nothing really stood out as far as his repertoire go. Not really going to make me sit there and raise my eyebrows and say, yeah, I can't wait to see Kona Reeves again next week. I didn't get any of that. But I will say the guy has some type of look to him. He's got the tribal tattoos. He's got a great big smile. He's got the beautiful hair. He has charisma. If he nails down the in-ring work, we might be looking at something special. Now, I haven't heard him cut a promo. All we've seen from him was a coming attraction and a preview video that they showed us the last couple of weeks for his upcoming debut. We haven't seen this guy take the microphone yet. But he does have some key aspects nailed down as far as his presentation goes. What we've seen tonight really didn't impress me in the ring. So it's not something that I'm going to completely blow off right now. I did the same thing with Velveteen Dream. I did the same thing with Patrick Clark before they repackaged him and renamed him the Velveteen Dream. I don't want to do that again with Kona Reeves because I don't want to sit here and end up eating my words. Because that's exactly what I did with the Velveteen Dream. And right now he's one of my favorite things in all of WWE, not just NXT. So I'm going to give Kona Reeves at least a few months to see what happens with him as he progresses. Maybe he gets better in the ring. Maybe, you know, he really didn't want to do too much against the guy that he was in the ring with who looked like a fucking WWE 2K18 creator character. You know, Patrick Scott or whatever the fuck his name was. But I'm going to give Kona Reeves a chance. The potential is there, for sure. But he needs to get better in the ring, and I'm assuming that's why they've kept him in NXT without any television time, really, over the last 3 years. So, NXT tonight with Kona Reeves. I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to give it some time. And hopefully we have another blue chipper like we have in the Velveteen Dream. We have this entire thing going on with the Undisputed Era. And obviously they poked fun again at Oney Lorcan. Adam Cole and company cut a promo on Oney Lorcan, which was fucking fantastic. They opened the show, like I said, and he put down Oney Lorcan saying, you know, Oney, you made the record books. Something that you can tell your children when they grow up. Tales of when you were a WWE superstar. You will forever be a trivia question answer to this particular question. Who was Adam Cole's first defeat, or win, I should say, in defense of the North American Championship? Oney Lorcan. You know, and Adam Cole went on to say that it's sad and pathetic, and he made a highlight in this guy's career. I love Adam Cole, man. Adam Cole's a fucking beast. So they are just going down and down and down the line about how great they are. And, you know, we have Bobby Fish, you know, obviously rehabilitating. And he was like, you know, guys, I'm rehabbing right now at the PC. And I could tell you guys on your behalf that we're going to have a few more people coming in to do some rehab with me, courtesy of the Undisputed Era. And then Roderick Strong comes in and says he's going to take care of Pete Dunne, calls him Pete. Just blatant disrespect by Roderick Strong. I love the new cockiness, the new prick-like attitude of Roderick Strong. So Undisputed Era right now is clicking, and I'm loving what they're doing right now. O'Reilly even brings up Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan's tag team partner, by sticking his nose where it doesn't belong after the match was finished. Strong, like I said, then laughs about Pete Dunne and says he'll take care of him later tonight when the two meet one-on-one in a non-title United Kingdom Championship match. So I'm loving what they're doing with the Undisputed Era, man. You got Pete Dunne, who was obviously betrayed by Roderick Strong. I figured it would be Tyler Bate and Trent Seven coming to the aid of Pete Dunne, but now we got Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, which I don't mind. I really don't mind that at all, man. Pete Dunne teaming with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Danny Burch, obviously part of the United Kingdom tournament that happened in 2016. And we have Oney Lorcan, who is, you know, an underdog. He really doesn't have a primary role on NXT television outside of being a really, really, really stiff worker and a great enhancement talent. You know, I definitely want to see more of the tandem between Lorcan and Burch. Danny Burch just signed a full WWE contract, full-time WWE contract, so he's going to be with NXT. I like to see them, you know, as a mainstay in the tag team division. I think they have the makings of a great underdog tag team. It would give Oney Lorcan a nice prime spot on television. But I like the fact that they're giving Oney Lorcan this type of spotlight to work against Undisputed. So it looks like we're heading towards Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, and Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. Or I could be completely wrong, and we do get Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. You know, British Strong Style versus the Undisputed Era, which I could easily see taking place on an episode of NXT television, or if WWE wants to drag it out and really make it special, take over Chicago. I could definitely see that, but I like the storyline continuation, man, that WWE does with NXT, and it's very interesting to see where it goes. I'm also interested to know who Adam Cole is going to be defending the North American Championship against next. So that's always in the back of my mind, man. Who they got set up next for Adam Cole? Other than that, man, there really wasn't much of NXT tonight. It was an entertaining show, but it was more of a low-key show that pretty much set up for next week. Next week, we're going to get the War Raiders versus Heavy Machinery. We're going to get Tommaso Ciampa against Cassius Ohno. So we're going to, you know, see the next step in this saga with Ciampa and Gargano. And that's all that I know for now going into next week. So it should definitely be interesting, man. And you guys know how I feel about the Gargano-Ciampa situation and where I think that should go. come the summer months. But like I said, it was more of a low-key episode of NXT tonight. Nothing really that newsworthy, but it was still an entertaining show nonetheless. Show started off with Kairi Sane versus Shazza McKenzie. And this was basically a squash match. Kairi Sane gets a very, very easy win. A few double chops, a spear. She nails that running forearm in the corner, and then the flying elbow off the top rope, which was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful by Kairi Sane. One side note here about Miss Kairi Sane. I love her hair color. I think her hair looks fantastic. She's just cute in general, man. She's got that just, I have to watch what this woman does because she's so damn cute. Look about her. But Kairi Sane gets the victory. Big flying elbow off the top rope over McKenzie here on NXT. After the match, we have Lacey Evans comes out. And she heads to the ring. She has a microphone in her hand. I don't know what it is about Lacey Evans. You guys know how I feel about Lacey Evans. I just find her to be incredibly cringe for whatever reason. She went from being, the baby face, and now she's playing this heel character. I don't know if the heel character fits her well with her current style and look on NXT television. I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm still very undecided. I think she's still very green in the ring. There really isn't anything that's stand out about Lacey Evans. She's a very attractive female, but other than that, I really don't find any upside to her yet. Still, I'm still trying to find what's so special about Lacey Evans. So she comes out and she says that a true lady with class always admits when they're wrong. She apologizes and says Kairi Sane does belong here in NXT. She hopes Sane can accept her apology and extends her hand in friendship. Sane is standing there and she's shaking her head no, and all of a sudden, Lacey Evans pops her in the face with a stiff right hand and Kairi Sane goes down. So it looks like we have two offset feuds here for the women's division. We got Shayna Baszler and what looks to be Dakota Kai, and we got Kairi Sane versus Lacey Evans. And then obviously, Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler is going to be the match that you see for TakeOver Brooklyn. That is my prediction. You know when it's time, and Kairi Sane's time is coming to be NXT Women's Champion. They got to capitalize on that sooner rather than later because she's a fan favorite. I'm loving Shayna Baszler's work, who we didn't see tonight on NXT. And I think that is going to be a very, very good feud because obviously there's history there from the Mae Young Classic. 1 year removed from the Mae Young Classic, we're going to see the differences we've seen from last year to this year between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. Should be very interesting. Kathy Kelly talks with Candice LeRae to get an update on Johnny Gargano. Candice says it hasn't been an easy year. She says Ciampa was family, and she doesn't understand why he keeps coming back. I thought we were done with him, she said. She begins to cry, and she walks off to prep for her match against Bianca Belair. Street Profits versus TM61. I was thinking when I was watching this match, man, it's always fun to see two babyface teams or two babyface personalities go at it because it kind of riles up the crowd and the crowd is split with excitement. Now, this typically doesn't happen when you have two heels in the ring because, it just doesn't have the same effect. But when you got two babyfaces in there, it just gives you a different level of excitement. And everybody's happy and everybody's positive. Oh, I want TM61 to win. Oh, I want Street Profits to win. But I like both teams and there's excitement in the air, right? But WWE doesn't do this as far as championship matches go. I'd like to see a championship match between two baby faces. That's what we were going to get with Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black. I think that's a great dynamic. I think two baby faces fighting over the title is a great dynamic. Two heels, I really can't say the same thing about it. But we got two babyface acts here in the Street Profits and TM61. Street Profits have been a favorite of mine in the tag team division. I think they've been on the short end of the stick for quite some time now. I want to see them kind of get over that hump. They need some big wins. I thought they were going to go far. I thought both of these teams were going to go far in the Dusty Classic, and they were both eliminated. But here they are going one-on-one. But we have TM61 picking up the victory here. And it was because of a foot on the rope type deal. So Thorne counters Ford's pin, which was a beautiful sunset flip. Puts his feet on the ropes, and Miller, Shane Thorne is in the pin. Nick Miller holds the ropes as Thorne has the pin on Ford, and he couldn't kick out. Cheap victory for TM61. And the Street Profits were asking the referee, how could you do that? They had their feet on the ropes. I don't believe it. So TM61 gets the cheap victory here over the Street Profits, man. Montez Ford is going to be a big player in WWE, man. His athleticism is like Ricochet scary. And he moves. He makes it look so fucking easy, man. And I would love to see more of Montez Ford. I think they're a very, very good team. I think the Street Profits complement each other very well. You got the grounded, kind of physicality of one, and then you got the aerial assault of the other. So I really like that aspect of it, man. But TM61 here gets the victory over Dawkins and Montez Ford. Kathy Kelly talks with Cassius Ohno backstage. What's going on with Ciampa and Gargano? She knows that Ohno has known both guys for a very long time. Ohno calls Ciampa a coward, and seeing Gargano get stretched out was not cool. Ohno says he wants Ciampa to feel like Gargano did, and Ohno is going to be the guy to do just that. Like I said, that is going to be the main event of next week's show. Can't wait to see the reaction that Tommaso Ciampa gets next week in the main event of NXT. Patrick Scott, the resident WWE 2K18 creator character, going up against Kona Reeves, who he himself could also be a WWE 2K18 creator character. Kona Reeves comes out, and this is his re-debut of sorts on NXT. Mauro Ranallo says that he is inspired by The Rock and wants nothing but the finest things. Then you have Percy Watson saying that he spent a lot of time with Bobby Roode when Bobby Roode was down at NXT, and he was making NXT glorious. He fed off that type of lifestyle with Bobby Roode. So you got Mauro saying he is inspired by The Rock. You got Percy saying he's inspired by Bobby Roode. And I definitely seen, if you watch his facial expressions, you can kind of see some, just a little bit, some similarities to The Rock, but that's the Samoan heritage, man. One kind of looks like the other, and they all act the same, and they all got some type of charisma that is just, out there. But Kona Reeves, he really didn't do anything that really impressed me in the ring, like I said. He did a gut-wrench suplex, a reverse elbow from the second rope, and he did a modified Samoan drop, which looked very impressive. He had him on his back, and then he dropped him face first instead of dropping him on his back. So that was the only thing that kind of led to me saying, oh, wow, that was pretty cool. So it was a 1-2-3, easy win over Patrick Scott here for Kona Reeves. We've seen a vignette for EC3, who says he's going to turn NXT into NX3. His television debut is next week, so we have EC3 to look forward to. Dakota Kai talking to some media goons outside the Performance Center about the women's division and how the women's division is doing. She puts over a couple of the other women. One person asks about Shayna Baszler. Kai says she doesn't want to talk about Shayna Baszler. Vanessa Bourne comes walking on in, and speaking of hair, I absolutely love Vanessa Bourne's hair. Could look at it all day. Vanessa Bourne shows up and says Kai has been simply afraid of Shayna Baszler. Kai doesn't appreciate that and says that she's not afraid of Vanessa Bourne. The two exchange looks, and Bourne leaves. Vanessa Bourne, another one who's got a great look, is just very green in the ring. Dakota Kai, we know what she can do. She was in the Mae Young Classic. She's been a pleasant surprise on NXT television. A lot of people have said Dakota Kai is the way that Bayley should have been built up. But Bayley's kind of going under some form of transformation. So I don't know what's going on with Bayley. She's, I think, growing a set and becoming a little bit more aggressive. But Dakota Kai, looking to be a staple in the NXT women's division. Vanessa Bourne and Dakota Kai. Looks like Dakota Kai is going to have to take care of Vanessa Bourne before she gets to Shayna Baszler. And I like that there's intertwining storylines. And you know what the most important aspect of it is? There's no tag teams. It's all one-on-one. We got one woman who has a problem with another woman. We got over here another woman who has a problem with another woman. It's all one-on-one, which is going to lead to one-on-ones, which is going to lead to one-on-one championship matches, and not tag teams and six-woman tags and 8-woman tags. I love it. I love it. Single issues between two women instead of having fucking tag team matches every week. Candice LeRae, speaking of one-on-one matches, Candice LeRae versus Bianca Belair, man. Bianca Belair is my boo. She's my boo, man. Listen, Bianca Belair, I don't know what type of conditioning this woman does, and Candice LeRae is tiny. But it still looked very fucking impressive, man. It's like she turned into the Incredible Hulk, Bianca Belair. You know, I don't want to throw accusations out there, but she is she might be on the Jinder Mahal fucking diet. I don't know, man. Bianca Belair is fucking scary looking. But, and I mean that in a good way. Candice LeRae was laying flat on her back, and Bianca Belair lifted her, like, deadlift from the mat up over her head, like Lex Luger style, and fucking did a snake eyes to Candice LeRae on the top turnbuckle. Scary fucking strength. Not easy to do. Candice LeRae went for Candice LeRae's Wild Ride. I think Johnny Gargano has a lifetime pass to Candice LeRae's Wild Ride. I'm sure it's quite the adventure. But we have Bianca Belair with a torture rack, alley-oop. I don't like that move. I don't like that move for I think if there's one thing that Bianca Belair needs to change is that finishing move, man. I do not like that alley-oop. That reverse powerbomb finisher that she does, I don't like it. I don't think it's impressive. I don't think it's as devastating as a finishing move should be. And it looked very sloppy on Candice LeRae. But it got the job done. Alley-oop, cover, that will do it. It's over. Bianca Belair pins Candice LeRae after the match. Candice LeRae visibly upset because she has nothing but Johnny Gargano on her mind. Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, of course. They assist him here down the ring. This was a very, very hard-fought match, man. I think Roderick Strong, I think we can all 100% say that Roderick Strong has the most devastating knife-edge chops in professional wrestling. I don't care who else there is, man. When Roderick Strong does a knife-edge chop, I think at this point we should start fearing for our fucking chests caving in, man. What he did to Daniel Bryan at the Greatest Royal Rumble and the knife-edge chops that he gave Pete Dunne tonight, you could not pay me all the money in the world to take a knife-edge chop from Roderick Strong. My goodness. My goodness. Roddy and Pete Dunne, what else did they do? They beat the shit out of one another, man. This was a very physical match. Pete Dunne heads to the top rope. Roderick Strong, towards the end of the match, stopped him with a kick to the head. Heads up there, hits an avalanche Olympic slam off the top rope. Moro was going crazy, which I always appreciate. 2 count only, and Roddy starts yelling at Pete Dunne to stay down. So Dunne gets a hold of Strong's fingers and snap, crackle, and pop. I'm not talking about Rice Krispies. Snaps Roddy's fingers. O'Reilly and Cole are looking on here. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the outside interference. Dunne with a Enziguri. One of my favorite finishes in all of WWE. The bitter end goes for the cover and the win. And what else? His new Adam Cole and Undisputed Era jumps in and causes a disqualification. Pete Dunne wins by a DQ. Post-match, they continue to beat up Pete Dunne 3-on-1, but Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan make the save. Pete Dunne takes a shoe and throws it at Cole on the ramp, and both sides are yelling at each other as NXT quickly faded to black and went off on the WWE Network, man. I'd love to see Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole. Champion versus champion match. Or maybe Adam Cole defends the North American Championship against Pete Dunne. So I'd like to see that. Maybe we could be heading towards that. Looks like we're going to be getting some 6-man action between all 6 of these guys. So whatever's going on, man. Very entertaining stuff. This was a very, very good match between Roddy and Pete Dunne. Always like seeing Pete Dunne. Shout out to the Goon wearing the Team JD gold foil t-shirt as I seen it on camera during Pete Dunne's entrance. Whoever you are, if you're watching, thank you, bruh. Greatly appreciate the support, and I greatly appreciate you wearing that shirt amongst the NXT faithful. at Full Sail University. Great shit there. Good episode of NXT. Really didn't do anything to push the envelope like they usually do. Very low-key episode. Just kind of built to what we're going to see over the next couple of weeks. And still, no Ricochet, no Velveteen Dream, no Aleister Black, no Johnny Gargano, no Tommaso Ciampa, no Lars Sullivan. Still a good show. Still a good show. We're going to be seeing EC3 next week. He's going one-on-one with, I think they announced his opponent. They announced him going up against Raul Mendoza for NXT television next week. But you can see how NXT doesn't overwhelm you with their top guys. There's always some type of business going on with NXT. Look at the main event we got tonight. Roddy and Pete Dunne. They had their opportunity to showcase. 1 week it's going to be Ricochet. 1 week it's going to be EC3. 1 week it's going to be Ciampa. 1 week it's going to be, Lars Sullivan. So on and so forth. 1 week it's going to be Dream. NXT, man. I usually say it every week. It's my type of promotion. If I was to book a promotion, it'd be the way NXT is doing things. Very nicely done. But tonight was a little bit more low-key, which, isn't bad. Always great to set up for the weeks to come. That is NXT tonight, man. Thank you guys so much for everything. If you missed any of my other content, there's a bunch of stuff that you guys can go out and check. Monday Night Raw is live on the channel right now. SmackDown review live on the channel right now. So both Raw and SmackDown reviews are live on the channel. We got some God of War Part 2, Path to the Mountain. Almost 2.5 hours long. Actually, over 2.5 hours long if you guys want to go check that out. If you want some more entertainment. There's a great Fortnite live stream. Season 4. Live debut for Season 4 with me and the guys, man. Buff Llama, one of my buddies, pulls off an incredible 3-on-1 situation in squads. Go check that out. Obviously, NXT tonight. We have more Fortnite gameplay coming tomorrow. My best game ever in solo, man. So you're going to want to check that out. And then we got Friday off the script, episode 220. Backlash, Trash Back, or Backlash, Trash, whatever. It's fucking garbage. It's absolutely fucking trash. Backlash, Trashlash, whatever you want to call it. We got preview predictions coming up for Friday's episode of Off the Script, and more to come all weekend long. Thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all future notifications, and I will see you guys tomorrow with more content right here on the channel. Have a great Wednesday night. And I think I'll be live on Twitch as soon as this review goes on YouTube. I'll see you guys over there.